It's not fair to place all the blame on yourself. I still don't know what caused my inability to become pregnant. I even went to see noted physicians. I underwent humiliating examinations. But I was always just told that they didn't understand the reason. Even though quite some time had passed since your marriage, you still couldn't bear a child. I see. It's only natural that Ava, who secretly aspired to become the successor, would start getting ideas. Ava tried to convince father that I was a failure as a successor's wife. It was a time when Kenzo was also very disappointed by my husband's repeated business failures. On the other hand, Ava's husband, Hideyoshi, being business was growing well. Completely the opposite of my husband's, he was the only person who could bring father good news. So perhaps father couldn't be blamed if he decided to lend an ear to Ava's words, or even accept them completely. It was all my fault because I couldn't bear a child. You are sinless. Aren't babies of this country carried here by storks? If anyone is to be judged, blame the stork. Thank you. However, even though he was still in good health then, the head was already well past his prime, and it's not hard to imagine that he wanted to see his grandchildren's faces as soon as possible. Who cares? If he wanted a grandchild, he could have just done what he wanted with that appalling amount of money he had. This is Kenzo, the man who always bragged about how money could create anything. If he wanted a grandchild, why couldn't he just manage something with that money he was so proud of? Yes, that's right. The head gave up on me when I couldn't bear a child, and did just that. The head gave to many charities, thinking it the duty of anyone in possession of so much money. One among these, an orphanage known as the Fukuin House, had been given especially large donations, possibly because he had old ties with that place. The Fukuin House. Furniture came from that place quite often. To provide on-the-job training and preparation for life as a working adult, the head employed the Fukuin House children with the exceptional grades as servants. All of the servants in the mansion, with "on" in their names, such as Shannon, Cannon, Lunan, Manon, and Lion, came from there. I have not met these three people. Well, there were quite a lot of them, weren't there? Though most quit after just a few years. That's probably because a few years of wages from working here would earn them more than enough to live on their own. Experience as a servant for the Ushiromi family would be a wonderful thing to add to their resume. I'm sure it was the head's ambition that they would gain from this for themselves and then spread their wings in society. I see. So an adopted child. Father, what did you just say? Except this baby is my grandchild. Oh, there. There. Apparently the baby that Kumasawa was trying to soothe didn't like the study air at all. It kept on crying upset. My apologies, Father. What is it you just... Accept this baby as my grandchild and raise it to be the one who succeeds Kraus. In other words, you want me to raise this baby as me and my husband's own child? That's right. It's clear now that you cannot bear children. There must be some sort of defect in your body. Oh, there. Oh, there. As though she couldn't hear our discussion in the slightest, Kumasawa kept on trying to cuddle the baby. This made it cry even louder. What nonsense. If all responsibility of giving birth to children rested with the woman, there'd be no need for men in this world. I've never forgotten the bitter pain I felt that day. It's not as though I didn't want a child. However, no matter how much I prayed, I couldn't get pregnant. Thinking that something to do with my body might be the cause, I went to see several famous doctors. But even so, no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't become pregnant. And in the end, this was the result. I see. The baby had been picked up by the Fukuin House just recently. Of course, you couldn't help but feel compassion for this child, who was so young and who had already lost its parents' affection. However, it brought me nothing but pain and sadness. It would have been another story if I had suffered to bear this child. But why should I be forced to hold this baby who not only shared none of my blood, but who was not related to my husband in the slightest either? I don't hate father. If anything, I hated my own body. I detested it. I truly detested my own body for being unable to bear a child. So I prayed. I prayed to both angels and demons, and my wishes were granted by both. For what did you pray to angels? I prayed for a miracle in my body. If there was something wrong with my body, I could accept that. In that case, I wanted to overcome that defect and somehow be granted the miracle of being given my husband's child. That wish was granted. The next year, you gave birth to Jessica. And for what did you pray to demons? I couldn't stand it. I hated my body. So I hated this baby because it made my failures so apparent. What did you wish for? For the first time, I prayed and made wishes to demons. I wished that this baby would just disappear. Of course, that wish was also granted by demons. On that day, I left the baby with an older servant and went to think about the future in the rose garden. No, that's a lie. I didn't want to think about anything. The baby's cries were annoying, so I ordered the servant to take the baby to a place where I couldn't hear. By a place where I couldn't hear, I meant somewhere far away. Yes, I wished for it. I wished for the servant to take the baby far away and never return. I see. So a passing demon heard your wish, Natsui-sama. And then what happened next? After that, there was a bizarre accident that could only have been granted me by a demon. The woodland path from the rose garden to the harbor is probably well suited for a comfortable walk. It must surely feel good to occasionally leave the path and walk through a grove of trees, depending on your move. However, wouldn't that path be fairly hard to travel on when taking a walk with a baby in your arms? There was a cliff on the other side. It was about 10 meters tall, I think. Okay, there really needs to be a fucking guardrail here. How many people now have fallen off this fucking cliff? OSHA would have a field day with this island. The fucking Death Star was built with more safety in mind. It was rocky below. There was also a fence there. Does it seem at all likely that the servant went to the trouble of walking there holding a baby, and then leaned against the fence? The only conceivable explanation is that she was lured there by the beckoning of a demon. She was lured there, wasn't she? By a demon who heard your wish. And then the servant and the baby both fell to their death. They died. They fell from the cliff down to the rocks below. No, they died because I wished it. That means this isn't your fault. There's no need to think about it any further. But it happened because I wished for it. You didn't actually do anything to cause it, though. No, that's wrong. Even if you wish for something, whether it comes true or not, is decided by the whims of gods, demons, and witches. You are sinless. Humans are sinless. You can even say that I killed them. No, I did kill them. I saw your mourning and felt pity, so I lured the servant with the baby to the cliff and guided them down to it. Wasn't it just an unfortunate accident? If you can't accept it as an accident, blame it on us. That's why demons exist. That's right. We are here for your sake. It's not like you killed them. We killed them. So you are sinless. So please don't blame yourself, Natsui. Is that true? Am I truly sinless? Yeah, you are. Waha. Young one who claims revenge for the events of 19 years ago. If you're going to curse someone, curse me. However, witches have a patent on curses. Okay, where do you register that patent? Let me take on this fight you're trying to pick with Natsui. I am the Ushiromi family alchemist, Beatrice the Golden. If anyone picks a fight with the master I serve, I will serve in my master's stead. Revenge for 19 years ago, you say? I'll show you that such is hardly a blink of an eye for a witch who's lived 1,000 years. Guahahaha. So you hate Natsui for wishing her death 19 years ago. Let me make you remember just who it was that lured you off that cliff. Do we ever get to see those other people? As the middle-aged female servant cuddled the soothing baby, sobbing baby, she walked on a small path through the trees. Natsui had told her that the baby was too loud, so she had to try to get as far from the rose garden as she could. She was completely unaware as to why she'd gone out of her way to head in this direction. I mean, you didn't have to go this far. I mean, it's not like the baby is fucking Super Saiyan 3 Goku, yelling to do his transformation. However, the sobbing baby suddenly stopped crying. Something was reflected in its eyes, but the servant couldn't tell what. However, thinking that this baby had stopped because it had taken interest in something, she headed in the direction of the baby's gaze. Then a swarm of butterflies appeared and ate the flesh from their bones. The baby had seen a cloud of gold butterflies disappearing off into the trees, and on the other side of the trees the servant could see a woman Who? She didn't recognize this person, but it didn't look like anyone who was supposed to be here. The baby stopped crying and stared in that direction. Then the servant's legs started to automatically carry her that way. Come this way, woman. Bring that cursed baby with you. You got cursed or cursed? Ah, the woman couldn't disobey. She was completely overwhelmed by Beato's gold glowing eyes. Why does that remind me of Stargate SG-1? She walked lightly, as though through a dream world. At some point, the scenery surrounded her had changed, but she did not notice. She could not notice. Though this should have been Rakanjima, at some point it had become the garden of a mansion she had never seen before. It was a garden she had never set eyes on, even grander than the great rose garden of the Ushiromi family, a garden of gold roses. There stood an arbor, and a woman wearing an elegant dress beckoning to her. There was a man who looked like a butler, and the tea he poured was with a beautiful gesture, had a very nice and enticing smell. It was as though they were telling her to join their tea party. Okay, when she fell off the cliff, did she still get to drink the tea? Or is the tea just... Are we just blue-balled on the tea the whole time? She couldn't disobey. She had to go to the master of this golden rose garden and give this child as an offering. Okay, what? Forgive me, woman. Curse your bad luck for being entranced by a witch. Okay, the word trance just made me think of Zidane from Final Fantasy IX. You guys remember the Leafa tree theme? What would you do if you actually saw the fucking Leafa tree in real life? It'd be a big tree. Why is Turles flying around it? Get the fucking tree a mite. Surrounded by these gold roses, which you would never be able to enjoy in this world. Sleep, gape. Yes, understood. When Gabe snapped her fingers, a pitch-black hole opened at the woman's feet, and she was swallowed up along with the baby. The scene at the moment that followed must have burned itself in the eyes of the woman and the baby. The two floated in the air and looked down at the gold rose garden spread out below them. Below their feet was not earth, but a golden rose garden that stretched as far as the eye could see without any gaps. Sound of gravity. If one could have this scene imprinted in their minds as last memory, that would be such a merciful way to die. Then the woman and the baby swallowed up by the golden sea. The thunk was remarkably plain and remarkably quiet for a sound that stole away 2 lives. However, it made a perfectly suitable show at a tea party of witches. With the woman and the baby at the center, the rose garden was slowly swallowed up by the darkness. The sound of the wind grew stronger bit by bit. Is that TV static? What is that noise? It was the roar of the sea. The 2 of them had fallen in the thicket of golden roses from the great height and died, were gradually wrapped up in the roar of the sea, wrapped up in the scenery of the beach below the cliff. I guarantee it. You are completely sinless. I'll accept this revenge from 19 years ago. Wahaha. Eek. When I spotted the 2 of them on the rocks below, I went pale. Then I dashed back to the mansion, and there was a huge uproar. They took them to a hospital boat as soon as possible. From that height, it was a miracle that they had even avoided an instant death. Both the servant and the baby died. In less than 3 days from the time Father had entrusted me with the baby, I had killed it. My husband had been on a business trip. Rosa-san, who still lived on the island at the time, had been traveling with her friends. Father and I were the only ones on Rakanjima, and before anyone except Father and I really knew anything, a baby had appeared out of nowhere and then disappeared again. That's right, it was a dream, a nightmare. I was sure that Father would blame me. However, he seemed somehow strange. I saw this coming. I knew this would happen. How long will you struggle? How long will it be before you're mine? What is happening? What is this reaction? Was Kinzo already dead at this point too? Like what is happening? I'm so confused. Did he sneak the baby away and say it was dead? Like what happened? I have no interest in an empty cage. Throw it away. When Father learned of the accidental death, he kept on laughing and laughing as though there could be no greater pleasure. I'm so confused. And then of course there's the thing where Rosa said she met actual Beatrice, and I don't know what's happening. Enough that just listening to it gave me a creepy feeling. Perhaps something had come loose in his mind. From that day onwards, Father shut himself up inside the world of the occult even more than he ever had before. When my husband came back, he was surprised to see that Father was even more bizarre than when he had before. However, he had already accepted that this would happen sooner or later. Of course, my husband had heard about the baby. However, he told me that it was surely just some whim of Father's and to forget it. And so I forgot it. It was an unfortunate accident. No, there wasn't an accident at all. I forgot everything, even the baby had existed in the first place. After all, it was a twisted nightmare that lasted not even 3 days. That's right, it was all a nightmare. I don't want to remember the cliff, that broken fence, the roar of the sea, and the cry of the baby. So, this baby is the baby from 19 years ago? Of course not. I killed that baby. It no longer exists in this world. However, there is no red truth in the human world. Nothing can be trusted there. That's right. Beato definitely killed that baby. However, you might find out it's alive in the world of humans, whether it's really alive or not, right? Do you mean to say that it actually survived after falling to the rocks from that height? I don't know. But calm down. No matter how much this person hates you, it was an accident, and that's the truth. If he does hate you, his hatred is completely unjustified. But, even if I didn't lay a finger on him inside my heart, calm down. No matter who the man from 19 years ago hates or what he yells at you, there's no way the sin he's after actually occurred. So calm down. Why don't I welcome the man from 19 years ago as my guest? Cackle. Just when the riddle was solved and I thought my job was finished, I've got to entertain this final guest of mine. This begins to grow more interesting. Not only are you protecting Lord Goldsmith's secret, but you also have the 19th guest, as well as a man from 19 years ago. True. Since we claim that Kenzo is alive, Erica is the 19th person. And besides the 19th person, we also have a man from 19 years ago. How interesting, I'm getting all fired up. We have no lack of opponents. Kinda makes me think about something. It was 47 years since the Ayatollah took power in Iran. And it was the 47th president of the United States of America. That ended that. We have no lack of opponents, and I was just lamenting the fact that I had but one guest at my tea party. Come, you fools. Laughter noises I don't know how to pronounce. Fruto Erica is Lady Berncastell's piece. In that case, whose piece is the man from 19 years ago? The voice, faintly seeping from the other end of the line, was not Sui's. I understand. I'll go to sleep right now. I won't leave my room and I won't pick up the phone. So, don't involve my husband and daughter. Even this begging scream, which would shake the heart of any listener, could be listened to with a cold ruthlessness through the end of the receiver. As long as you follow my orders, I will keep your secret, Mother. Do not disobey me. I am already very close to you. I can easily tell whether you have turned your lights off, or whether you were on the phone. If I wished to, I could even kiss your sleeping face. I'll keep it. I'll keep my promise. So stop it. Just stop it. Stop it. The receiver was slammed down. He knew very well the way you hang up a phone can leave a nasty aftertaste to the other side. Okay. Good night, Mother. And there you have it. Now Natsui won't come out of her room tonight. That's pretty handy. You can change your voice. Giggle. Anyone can change their voice. A sweet voice when coaxing Papa. A sick-sounding voice when taking the day off school. An apologetic voice when turning down a friend that you actually hate. If you want, I can do any kind of voice at all. Got it? Why does this feel like a hentai reference? You should stop being a witch and become a voice actress. Is that ironic given the fact there's no voice acting in this Anna? I mean, if there was voice acting, you guys wouldn't have to listen to me talking. So, are all the pieces set up on both sides now? Fruto, Erica, what a wonderful piece. She's a much more suitable piece for you than Angie was, Byrne. Your praise honors me, Lady Lambda Delta. The pleasure is mine. She really is wonderful, truly cute. I'd like to make her surrender to the illusion of a witch and see her face twist in humiliation. Hear that? Don't embarrass me, okay? Prove yourself to be a much more useful piece than Angie was. Yes, leave it to me, Lady Berncastel, my master. I'm nothing like that gloomy, dull-witted, totally uncute piece. Giggle. She's right. That Angie didn't do anything useful except get turned into meat chunks to egg Battler on. I have absolutely no interest in family love or sibling love. The game we want to see is more gruesome and sticky. A grotesque pop and cute murder case. If Natsui is the king, then I wonder if that makes Beato the queen. Giggle. The pack of witches and furniture guarding Natsui is less like a set of chess pieces and more like bowling pins, right? Yeah! Natsui and Beato, Kinzo, and illusions of the worthless furniture. Entertain us a bit, will ya? Especially you, Beato. We're already bored of you. This Legend of the Witch Murders game of yours is already over. Your time is over and done with. This game board already belongs to Burn and me. It'll suit you to be reduced to one of our pieces and toyed with for all eternity. Bitch noises. Okay, Rika and Satoko. Both Natsui and Beato are like the guts of a filthy truth wrapped up in a bit of thin skin. Tearing that to bits and dragging the insides out is one of our few pleasures. Yep, you can have tons of fun with it. Hey, are you watching, Beatrice? Look at how much fun can be had playing with your game board. Let me show you. Let me show you something, let me show you something. This fifth game's really gonna be fun. It's a bit sad if we're the only ones having a pleasant chat. Why don't you let Beato talk too? Hear that? I'll give you special permission to talk. What do you hope to gain from this latest game? She said nothing. That's right. You're the loser who surrendered to Battler. Leave it to me, okay? I'll put the witch side on top right away. But that means I'll have to sacrifice your piece. The epitaph has been easily solved before the first twilight, and Beatrice, the Keeper of the Gold, has lost face. Giggle. Isn't it great that you remain as a piece as part of Natsui's illusion? Well, we're treating you as a pin now instead of a piece, okay? The Golden Witch Beatrice is out of the picture now. You and your furniture have only a minuscule role in my game. A loser's role. Resign yourself to getting blasted away and becoming Burns in my toy. If you don't like that, why not just tell us to stop? If you do, we'll stop. She's saying she doesn't mind. Giggle, you're totally a pin. Ah ha ha ha. There's no need for a golden witch anymore. All that's needed is a sacrificial doll, so the two witches can enjoy some time playing. Die, disappear. Confess to your filthy past and your crimes. Speak out your sob story of regret and repentance as you throw yourself off a cliff and die. The golden witch will never again have her turn. Ha 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 ha. Beato. This will probably turn out to be a nasty game. On the surface it looks very similar to the usual tales. However, there's no respect given to the true main character of this story. This tale was supposed to be one that the Golden Witch Beatrice invited Ushiromiya Battler to see. However, the host has been lost, and there are no longer any guests. The one who did the inviting and the one who was invited are no longer around in this horrible tale. Welcome to the fifth game. End of the Golden Witch. Welcome to the banquet. Without the guest of honor, hijacked by the evil witches. Ready, Battler? The second day is finally about to start. Just like Beato, I hate slow story progression. Just do what you want. No matter how much you mess things up, I'll definitely reach the truth of this game. Giggle. It has to be that way. You've got to fight for your little sister's sake as well. Don't worry. Lady Lambda Delta is a far more terrifying opponent than that fool, Beatrice. But I'll be giving you plenty of support, so there won't be any problems. Together with me, why don't you finally expose the illusion of the witch this time? I don't give a damn about you. I won't acknowledge anything that didn't exist in Beato's games, so I don't need you. Is now really the time to act tough? Oh well, let's both give it our all, okay? Together, let's tear this illusion of the witch apart. Giggle. Erica offered me her hand to shake. Instead of just passively ignoring this, I gave her a proactive and clear answer by knocking her hand aside. Giggle. Looks like he hates shaking hands. Just like Angie. Don't worry. I'm a far more useful piece than Angie. I'm nothing at all like shredded meat that couldn't do anything but restore your fighting spirit. Giggle. Isn't it great that you've been blessed with such a helpful-looking ally? In the past, it was Virgilia and Renove, then Angie came as well. And now you have Byrne and Erica. There are so many pieces supporting you, so how does it feel knowing that you still can't catch on to the truth despite that? How does it feel? It doesn't matter. This battle is between me and Beato. Everyone else besides us doesn't matter. Oh, is that true? Are you finally standing on your own? You've always had someone helping you, someone sympathetic to you, so I wonder just how far you'll get on your own. Entertain me. I'll grab it and take it back. This is our game. You two aren't wanted here. Giggle. Yes, that's true. This is your game. So try taking it back. Let's see how far someone like you, who couldn't even win Beato's games when she went easy on you all over the place, can get in Lambda's completely ruthless game without any help. Well then, wake up, Ushiromiya Battler. Welcome to the morning of October 5th. Okay, so 7 a.m., huh? Everyone got plenty of sleep, I guess. Some will be sleeping in a bit later than everyone else. Was it someone's alarm clock? Beep, beep. An electronic tone repeatedly rang out through the room. Battler, who had gone to bed late and not managed to get enough sleep, covered his head in his blanket and waited for someone to turn off the alarm. But no matter how much time passed, the electronic tone didn't stop. I see, the point of an alarm clock isn't just to be loud enough to wake you, but to be annoying enough to keep you from wanting to fall back asleep. Hey, the alarm's going off. Make it stop, please. Why do waking up voices always get this annoyed? Well, it does make sense. After all, people are still sleepy and in a bad mood. However, there was absolutely no sign that my annoyed voice had caused anyone to turn over in their sleep or crawl out of bed to stop the alarm. Letting out a deep sigh, I stumbled to my feet. With the shutters down on the windows, there was almost no light getting in, and the room was as dim as it had been earlier, though, even without the shutters, there's no way this dull weather would let in enough sun to make this a pleasant morning. The cousins were still wrapped up in their beds, sound asleep, and taking no notice whatsoever of that beeping. Remember in episode 4, was it? When everyone was in the underground tunnels, running from the herds of goat people, and they kept hearing some weird beeping in the background, but no one could figure out what it was they were hearing. I wonder if this is related. Bye.